Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we will present about our topic which is optical communication. So this is our group members which Muhammad FAISAL HAKIMI bin Muhammad REDZUAN, Muhammad Harith QAWIEM bin Muhammad YUSUF, and Muhammad NURHAIKAL bin ABDUL RASHID. So what is optical communication? So optical communication is a communication at a distance using light to carry the information. So it uses a transmitter which encodes a message into an optical signal, and also use a channel which carries the signal to its destination. It is also used a receiver which reproduces a message from the received optical signal. So phone traffic and electronic data are both carried over fiber optic communication links. Fiber optic cable have two modes, which is single mode and multi-mode. For single mode, it is transmit solely in the primary mode. It is capable of preventing chromatic dispersion. A high capacity and long distance optical fiber communication are best suited to the single mode optical fiber. And for the multi-mode fiber is an optical fiber delivers signal in various modes at a given operating wavelength. So multi-mode fibers have a core diameter of 50 to 70 micrometer and a cladding diameter which is 100 to 200 micrometer. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we will present about our topic which is optical communication.
So right now we go to the classification fiber optic cable. So as we can see, they have two types of cable, but the difference is between the multi-mode and also the single mode. So for the multi-mode, the core is a bit wider than a single mode, which is, as we can see, the multi-mode shows the 50 or 62.5 micrometer for the width of the core. Meanwhile, for the single mode fiber optic fiber signal, it's just a little bit smaller than the multi-mode, which is 9 micrometer 9 micrometer for the core. But between the cabling, the length is 125 micrometer. So next we go to the structure of the fiber optic. As we can see here, in the fiber optic there are three types of layer, which is the outer one is coating, and then next after the outer is cladding, and then the most of the part, the important things in fiber optic is core. So for the coating is the optical fiber outermost layer is made up of nylon, silicon rubber, and acrylate. The coating shields the optical fiber from mechanical nicks and moisture. For cladding, the cladding contributes to mechanical protection by acting as a reflective surface and optical isolation for the transmission of light and present in the composition around the core. Meanwhile, for the core is where the optical energy is mostly transferred. So, how fiber optic works? Fiber optic works by continually bouncing of the cable's wall. Light flow through the fiber optic cables. The light bounces back down into the pipe. As a result, the multiple mirror reflection. The wider middle of transverse by the light beam, the center of the cable contains the cable's core. The core is encircled by cladding, which is made of glass. The coating also aids the maintaining light inside the core. So as we can see at the image show, the light has been transferred in the cable, so it will bouncing inside the reflection in the core. So the fiber works, it will be called the total internal reflection, which is the light signal 1 being transferred and also the light signal 2 being transferred, and then both of the light will be bouncing inside the optic. So what is the advantage and disadvantage of the fiber optic? So for the advantage, the cost is affordable. The security, it is the most secure method of transporting sensitive data. It's a very difficult to penetrate. Low power loss. These facilities, longer transmission distance. And then the last is flexibility. Copper is more reliable and has a higher tensile strength than aluminium. For disadvantage, difficult to splice, although they are thought to splice, they will break if bent too much. Expensive to install, installation is more costly and require an expert. The last one is highly susceptible, extremely prone to being cut or damaged due to its tiny size and compact cord, and it's easy to install. So we go to the methodology. As we can see here, this is transmitter block. The analog input will go to the cord and converter. After that, the digital input will combine with the analog input. Then we go to the digital pulse, and then the digital pulse will produce the light source transmit circuit, and then it will goes to light will turn on off the rapidly. After that, it will go into the fiber optic cable or fiber optic light pipe, and then after that it will transmit to photo, cell light and detector, and then we go to amplifier, sharper circuit, digital pulse and the decoder. So in the upper side is for the transmitter, and then the lower side is the for receiver. So for the upper side is when how the information be transferred between the transmitter, and then we receive by the receiver. So after the digital pulse has been converted to the decoder, and then we will separate again for the analog output and also the digital output. So after that, I will pass to Haikal.
So, Assalamualaikum and very good evening. So, my name is Muhammad NURHAIKAL, ABDUL Rashid, and now I will explain about the methodology part. For the methodology part, it is consists of three part. That is the transmitter block, fiber optic cable, and last one is the receiver block. So, it has two input, that is analog input and digital input. If it has an digital input, it will just go through the light source transmitter circuit. But if it is an analog input, it first will need to go through the code or converter to be converted into a digital pass. Then the digital input will go through the light source transmitter circuit that will convert the signal in form of light wave. Then the signal will be sent, the light wave received from the transmitter circuit to the fiber optic cable will be transmitted to the receiver block through the optical fiber cable. Then we will go through the receiver block. In the receiver block, the light detector will receive the light wave and convert it to a digital signal through the amplifier. Then if it an digital output, it will output we have been converted. But if an analog output, it first will go through the decoder to be convert to a analog signal. Then for the result and discussion, according to the approach, fiber optic is a prominent kind of telecommunication technology. It's propagated in two primary modes, that is single mode and multi-mode. So for the single mode, fiber only transmit in the primary mode, which could delay the onset of chromatic dispersion and perfect for long distance and high density fiber communication optic. Meanwhile, this fiber type has a low transmission rate, a narrow bandwidth, and a negligible capacity for transmission. Then, which modality between single or multi is clearly superior? While both single mode and multi-mode fiber optic have their own advantage when carrying data over a long distance, only single mode fiber optic cable should be used since it was designed for long distance transmission and making it perfect for cable television. However, when data transmission over a short distance is necessary, multi-mode transmission is preferred since it is more cost efficient than single mode and decrease the operating expense. And the conclusion that we can be conclude from this assignment. The fiber optic communication is a type of optical communication that uses thin strand of glass or plastic called fiber optic cable to transmit information over long distance. It is a popular method of communication because it has several advantages over traditional electrical communication, including faster transmission speed, greater bandwidth, and the ability to transmit over long distance without signal degradation. There are several types of fiber optic glass, including the single mode and multi-mode fibers, and they can be used for a wide variety of applications, such as telecommunication, internet connectivity, military, or aerospace communication. Overall, the fiber optic communication is an important and widely used technology that enables the transmission of data over a long distance with high speed efficiency. So that's all from me. Thank you.